to talk about Eric Adams for a minute, and I want to look into this a little bit deeper, right? Because Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, is in a very, very interesting position. Yesterday, he was questioned about helping the Trump administration with deportations and getting rid of illegal migrants that continue to commit crimes inside of the United States of America, specifically inside of New York City. And this is what he had to say about it when questioned by reporters.
Well, thank you, sir. With respect, I think you should clarify your position, if you would, because
Yes.
a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I asked you specifically about mass deportations, and you told this group that you oppose mass deportations.
Yes.
You were on Channel 41 last night, and they quoted you as saying that you think the city should cooperate with ICE under certain circumstances.
Yes.
So can you explain to us what your point is on this, and what your position is?
You have Ms. Jones from some countries, been here for 10 years, undocumented, working hard, trying to provide a way, not committing a crime. Or you have Commissioner of my Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, a dreamer, came here, crossed the river with his mother to participate in American Dream, and he now is a commissioner that is in charge of other dreamers. Those people should not be rounded up in the middle of the night.
I guess as we just gonna have controversial conversations today. I think today is controversial day. I do. So let's address these issues because I'm gonna get to Eric Adams' point and him wanting to work with Tom Homan, the border czar that Trump was appointed, and to get these people deported as committing illegal crimes. Right? Let's be very matter of fact and controversial. I'm gonna state my position, put my stake in this thing, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I disagree with the Dreamers program. I just got to be the bad guy all the way around, huh? But Anton, I've been here for all of this time. But Anton, my mother brought me over here. I didn't have no choice. Well, then we got to hold your mama accountable for you coming over here. I don't agree. And I know that people use their children as a weapon. Chinese and Asian have been doing it for a long time and flying over here pregnant, hiding their pregnancy, having their children over here in order for their children to have dual citizenship so that they can use them as a pawn to continue to control what's going on over here in America. I don't agree. I don't agree. Everybody should go through the process. Everybody needs to go through the process of being here legally. I don't agree. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's why I don't like Joy Reid. Joy Reid has been blessed to become basically a millionaire and to spout her big head points off on all of these different things that's happening inside of the United States of America on MSNBC when she herself said that her parents came here. I don't know if her parents came here legally or illegally, but she says out of her own mouth that her parents were immigrants into this country. Now, for me, that is a hard stance for somebody to take and say some of the wildest things that she says when she just blessed to be here. She just blessed to be here. So now, again, this Dreamers program, and I don't care if y'all put a label on it that says, oh, we're a dreamer. I dreamed yesterday, last night too. You know what I was dreaming about? Going to get an Aston Martin Vanquish. You know what I'm not going to get today? An Aston Martin Vanquish. God said, be happy with what I already blessed you with. I'll be dreaming too. Thank you, Dolores. I love you too, baby. I dream too. Oh, but they haven't committed a crime except for coming over here illegally. Eric D says Anton Joy has a podcast now. You know why she got a podcast? I remember when all of these people were saying that podcasters and YouTubers was just wannabe journalists and wannabe reporters. Well, we make more money than most of them now. All of these correspondents that's now losing their job. Now Don Lemon and Joy Reid and all of these people want to have a podcast. Now they want to try to do what we do, but they can't do what we do as well as we do it. You know why Joy Reid got a podcast? Because eventually MSNBC and all of them is going to get laid off. And so they're trying to get ahead of it by creating a brand separately on their own so that they don't have to be subjected to having a job just like somebody getting laid off at the steel mill or the auto manufacturers, because eventually that money is going to run out. That's the reason why they went and got a podcast, because they trying to catch the wave of what we've been doing for a long time altogether. If she got a podcast, that's what they doing. They trying to get themselves in a position to where they can figure out how to find some money in this game, and they don't know what they doing just like everybody else. Real talk. Armando says, AD, most of us was brought here when we were very young. And what does that mean to me? Listen, welcome. I don't blame you. I don't blame your parents for taking advantage of a system that allowed for people to come over here illegally and be able to take advantage of what we got going over here in the United States of America and taxpayers. You took advantage of a system. It don't mean that you're right. So wait a minute. Wait. So y'all want me to y'all must be unfamiliar with who I am. I am a very matter-of-fact, F your feelings type of person. If you won, you won. If you got it, took advantage of it, you took advantage of it, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to validate it. But I came here when I was young. What does that mean to me? Illegal is illegal. And so if you want me to have a level of sympathy for you, great. I got sympathy for people that committed crimes and got longer jail sentences, but it don't mean that they're not supposed to be in jail. Let me ask you a question. What about the people that actually went through the process, because y'all basically is finessing them? Let me tell you who the people are that get finessed in this whole system. We the taxpayers got to spend money to make sure that your parents is sufficiently taken care of, because they decided that they wanted to come over here illegally and they took advantage of a system. Okay, you finessed, you got it, you won, cool. But let me tell you who else get finessed. The people that have been on the list to try to come over here legally, and they've been on the list for years, even decades. What about them? So you just skipped the line. You went in front of them and said, oh, no, but I got a baby. You know what I can't stand? Let me tell you what I can't stand. We was in the airport. Where was we going to where we was almost late for our connecting flight? Just this last one where we went. We was in Romania, and I had a layover flight in Germany, in Frankfurt, Germany. And I see this person who I just got, when we was in the airport in Metro Detroit, they was walking around just fine. They was walking, enjoying, having a good time. When we got over to Frankfurt, Germany, and we waiting in line like everybody else, and we going through the process, they all of a sudden get a wheelchair. You ain't have a wheelchair back in Metro Detroit. So they was able to skip the line of everybody that was waiting in front of them because they said that they had to catch it. Well, what about everybody else that's been waiting here the whole time? Did they finesse the system? Absolutely. Was it legal, and did the airport allow for them to do it? Absolutely. Is it the right thing to do, and do I have to accept it? Absolutely and absolutely not. I don't have to necessarily accept it, but I gotta deal with it, because that's what they allowed for them to do. They went and got a wheelchair, got to the front of the line, and did their thing. I see it happen in the airport all the time. People come up with their wheelchair, skip the line. I think about it sometimes. Rita suggested sometimes. She'd be like, you think we should get a wheelchair? Nope. We got to do it the right way, baby. We got to do it the right way. We got to do it the right way. Let's continue. Listen, I love you. I love you. I just don't love you the same way that your parents love you.
These are people who love our country and they're participating in our country. Those who are here committing crimes, robberies, shooting at police officers, raping innocent people, have been a harm to our country. I want to sit down and hear the plan on how we're going to address them. Those are the people I am talking about, and I would love to sit down with the Board of Czar and hear his thoughts on how we're going to address those who are harming our citizens.
You're open to that?
Open to
hearing what their plan is to deport some of these folks, and you think the city, in some circumstances, should cooperate with ICE.
Let me. You know what's interesting? And I was talking to the team the other day. I want you to all go back and Google Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Google what they said about those who commit crimes in our city and what they said in our country. They said those who commit crimes need to get out right away. That was their position. So this is not a new position, because in the state in the era of cancel culture, no one's afraid to be honest about the truth. Well, cancel me, because I'm going to protect the people of this city. And if you come into this country, in this city, and think you're going to harm innocent New Yorkers and innocent migrants and asylum seekers, this is not the mayor you want to be in the city under.
He playing both sides of the fence. He's playing both sides. Eric Adams is playing both sides. On one end, he got to maintain his Democratic position because that's the seat that he holds, and he's trying to seek re-election for mayor. And it's a crowded field. I got a whole list of the people that's running against him in the primaries in order to try to unseat him. And I'm not sure if he's going to be voted in as mayor again, because you got 8 million people in New York. A lot of them are migrants. A lot of people don't forget or didn't forget that he supported this migrant crisis because he had to align with the agenda of Biden and Kamala Harris and letting over illegal people into this country in the first place. And so they became a sanctuary city, or they always been a sanctuary city. And there was a fallout from it, and he's seen it from the voters. I will give Eric Adams credit in that he is a good chameleon. You's a good chameleon. Eric Adams, you's a good chameleon. He a good chameleon. Eric Adams reminds me of the kiss up inside of the corporate America, and then he was working hard for this new leadership position, but then that person wound up moving on, and then they got new management, and so he trying to figure out what to do. And then the new management come in and say, hey, let's do a self-evaluation of everybody. And everybody say, well, this person is a kid. Eric Adams is a chameleon. Eric Adams could very much be a bad bee. Him's a good boy, Clint. Eric Adams is just like your favorite female. He your favorite baddie. Eric Adams got the spirit of Drea Michelle in him, if I ain't never seen it before in my life. Eric Adams got the spirit of Bernice Burgos in him, if I ain't never seen it before in my life. Eric Adams, and to his credit, he's trying to adapt. It's a survival game for Eric. Eric got the Department of Justice on his behind, on his tail. They are on him. Eric Adams said, you know what? My only saving grace is to align myself with the Trump campaign. I don't know if Kamala Harris and Biden is going to win, but they've already made me an outcast. They don't even ask for my opinion when it comes to this democratic process of the election. And so he chose a side. He said, listen, man, Trump, I like Trump. I likes me some Trumps. Eric Adams is working hard to do two things: to save his job and to save himself a pardon. And if y'all don't think that Trump paying attention to it, like, man, look at this chameleon. Look at this chameleon. Eric Adams is pivoting. So now he working with Tom Homan. You know what? I'd like to see what Tom and the Biden administration is going to do when it comes to getting these illegal migrants out of here that is committing crimes. Nobody in New York City, nobody in New York City should be subjected to illegal migrants coming over here and committing crimes. Now, I don't know what the Justice Department got going on, but what I do know is that I'm looking to see and have a conversation with the borders all Tom Homan that come in here and try to make sure that they keep New York citizens safe, because my job is to make sure that New York citizens have the opportunity to be dreamers and to make sure that they are safe in their own communities. Now, I don't remember what I said last year. I don't remember me sitting there at the migrant station, bus station, and I was clapping for them. But what I do know is that my number one priority is to make sure that Democrats and migrants over in here, and you know what about the dreamer? What about the dreamer that's sitting over there and he wound up raising himself up, never committed a crime, in New York City? What about him? I don't think that he should be rounded up in the night. But what I do think is that we should be listening to Trump and Trump administration, because he put the borders all in there for a reason. He put the borders all in there for a reason. Now, we need to get everybody on board. Everybody on board. Everybody need to be on board inside of New York City to make sure that we protect the citizens and we speak to the American people. Cancel me. Cancel me. That's my good chameleon. You's a goods boy. You's a good boy, Eric. You a good. You good. Yeah, you a good chameleon.
How are you?
Good, great, thanks. During the pandemic, undocumented workers or essential workers can step up in a major way.
Yes.
There's precedent. I think even my paternal grandmother was a nurse during the great influenza that came from Canada. She was granted citizenship and recognition for her service during that time, putting her life at risk for others. Is that something you would be...
We're a different type of show on here. We're different. I know y'all not used to this. Hold on. Can I ask y'all a question? Can I just ask y'all a quick favor? Price of admission for anybody that's coming in here should be a like. All you got to do is hit a like for the algorithm. But if you've been here more than one time, if you enjoy what we do, because this is the greatest morning show on earth, and it's over 5,000 people on here on YouTube alone. And if you've been here more than once, you should already been subscribed, and you should have definitely hit a notification bell so that you know when we go live every single day. You should definitely be doing that. It's no reason why, if you've been here more than once, that you shouldn't be subscribed. All right, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. And get your tickets to come and see me in Detroit December 14th. Discount code Anton in the description. Let's rock.
Willing to work with like 32 BJs and unions to say people that stepped up like that in a major way to help us keep on, they should get some kind of consideration.
Listen, look, the reason I know undocumented and other workers were doing what you said is because I was out there. I wasn't home social distancing. I was not sheltering in place. I was on the streets with people who were willing to help those who were social distancing and who were able to shelter in place. When you were as food service workers responding to your Uber Eats, you could not do it remotely. You had to go out and expose yourself. So I am with you on that. People who are giving back to this city should have an opportunity to participate in the American dream. And I said we should send people to certain cities. I can't say this over and over again. Certain cities that are dealing with population problems and need workers. I need food service workers. Kentucky need backstretch workers. You go all over this country.
The hell is a backstretch worker? What is a backstretch? I may be off. Let me Google this. Backstretch worker. Backstretch employees. What is a backstretch worker? Oh, those are people that care for the horses. I never heard of a backstretch worker. Caring for people who care for horses. Kentucky Derby, backstretch workers. Wow. Wow, I did not know that. I learned something new today. Thank you, Eric.
Country, and there are many cities and
I
municipalities.
thought a backstretch worker was something different. Oh, I thought I had me a backstretch worker last night. You know what I'm saying? I thought a backstretch worker was, my mind worked different. Never mind me. Don't worry about it. Let's go into Eric Adams possibly discussing, because CNN was talking about Eric Adams possibly getting a pardon from Trump and what his pathway to victory for that would be.
Arthur represents one of Eric Adams's closest aides. You also count the mayor as a friend, so we'll disclose that. But I do want to, and I should say this aide is a witness in the investigations around him. But this is Eric Adams very clearly taking a page out of Donald Trump's book, maybe borrowing. He's kind of taking some of the shine from Donald Trump and trying to use it for his own purposes. Is the point to get a pardon?
I said that's a back breaker, not a back stretcher. I'm with it. I'm 100% with it. I'm in there. I get it. Back breaker worker, back stretcher worker, all of that. Somebody said, "Did you hook up with a chick for the streets?" No. I got my own. I'm married a person that I stretched that back. Never mind. Let me be quiet. Let's continue.
At the end of the day.
Well, he's actually asked the question in that news conference, and he said, I've been saying this for years now. Here's as Eric's position. Initially, I think he felt bad for a lot of these migrants, especially my office is 1 block away from Ground Zero, the Roosevelt Hotel. There's a lot of women there with little kids, and he felt really bad for them. But as they kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and he wasn't getting any help from the federal government, like zilch. Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and obviously the White House, he was getting minimal help. And finally he realized, okay, it's one thing to be nice. It's one thing now you're overwhelming my city. And then he started pushing back. I can't take him anymore. Now we got to get him out. Then you got migrants starting to beat up cops in Times Square. Then you got migrants committing like real crimes against the citizens of the city of New York. And he's saying, no, that's not going to happen.
Not to diminish those issues, but
he's been saying that for a long time.
But I think the real question here is not so much about immigration, but about whether this turn has been toward Trump for a very specific purpose. He's being prosecuted by the Southern District of New York, and that prosecutor actually has already resigned. Trump is going to be in a position to potentially help him out in more ways than one.
It's an easy narrative to say, well, the prosecutors that came after the president of the United States are also coming after me in a similar witch hunt. Now, to be clear, President Trump was not prosecuted by the Southern District of New York, the federal prosecutors. He was prosecuted by the Manhattan DA's office.
He was investigated by the Southern District of New York.
Yes.
He was investigated, and then they passed on it because they thought it was a garbage case, and then the Manhattan DA's office picked up on it.
Granted. Continue.
President Trump was not prosecuted by the Manhattan DA's office.
Yes, he was. By the Manhattan
by the U.S. Attorney's Office, pardon me.
Yes. Go ahead.
Mayor Adams is being investigated by the federal prosecutors. He will have a chance to have his day in court. The allegations are troubling, to say the least. But it's an easy narrative for him to be able to say that they targeted President Trump and they targeted me. Now, can we get in his head and say that he's trying to curry favor for a pardon? Who knows? But I do think it's an easy narrative to try to yoke himself to the president.
I wouldn't poo-poo this illegal immigration issue. I think people are very upset about it.
I'm not doing that.
There's-
Just to be clear, I'm not doing that. I was just saying that the
Why
issue
always
for Eric
interrupting
Adams
Scott?
that is
Let Scott go.
very important is his legal fate. That's
but
very.
But
that's
his
a big
most
deal.
serious governing issue is that there are roughly 760,000 illegal immigrants living in New York City, and almost 60,000 of them have criminal charges or are convicted criminals. If I were the mayor of New York City, whether I had my own personal political problems or not, I would be desperate to work with the President of the United States to clean up what's going on. Earlier this year, there was a police report that 3/4 of the people being arrested in Midtown were for violent crimes and attacks on the street were illegal immigrants. This is a local governance problem. My assumption is, I don't live here, I'm here a lot, that the people of New York City are hopping mad about it. And whether Eric Adams is using this to get political favor with Trump, I don't know. But my God, you're the mayor. Somebody needs to do something.
Yeah, Scott is right, as usual. I do think that Eric Adams is trying to kill two birds with one stone and that he's angling for a pardon just in case he gets convicted And then on top of that, I believe that he's trying to save his job in New York, while at the same time, I don't believe that anybody thought that having a whole lot of illegal migrants overwhelm a city was a good idea. But they played their hand. They bowed the knee to Biden, and now Biden threw everybody under the bus. Kamala Harris is not going to be president. We all knew she wasn't going to be president. Everybody should have seen the writing on the wall. And now these Democratic mayors, which I said, I predicted, I've been saying it for the last 2 years, that their day was going to come and they was going to be held accountable for the decisions that they made. Mike Johnson, Brandon Johnson, your day is coming. Eric Adams, he trying to switch sides and be a chameleon. Karen Bass, we see what's happening over there in Los Angeles. All of these people gonna have to be faced. They're gonna have to face their consequences for the decisions that they made. They put too many people in jeopardy, and they made the wrong decisions, and they chose the wrong side.